Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It has been a while since we've taken a look at these charts. In front of us, we got NNDM opened. I do want to talk about this stock in particular, and then also a couple of the blockchain players in my portfolio, including RIOT, Mara, XNET, and then, of course, ARGO. I haven't talked about the stock in the past, but a couple of you guys requested it in the comments, and I am now personally involved in the stock, and I do feel comfortable talking to you guys about that. So I will be going through that, setting some price targets for all these stocks, and letting you guys know how I'm going to be playing these. So we'll kick it off with NNDM, and this stock has seen a pretty brutal last week. I mean, we've seen after hitting this line of resistance, we saw a pretty much a 20%, 25% pullback in the last week, pretty much. So again, not the greatest week, but it is a healthy correction. Now, after breaking this line right here, I personally thought that we were going to continue ripping to about $21, $22. That's clearly not what happened. So again, hype kind of failed us in this case. It didn't push us to this historical line of resistance right here. However, we did see this nice correction, like I mentioned, and I say nice because this was a chance. This still is a chance for us to establish or reestablish, however you guys have played this, a position right here. So I do think we're going to stabilize. I don't think we're going to pull past this 1250 line. So definitely not going any further than this. But I do think, again, upside, lots of potential here. I don't think we're going to spend too much time down here. This could even be printing a somewhat of a crude looking bull flag. Again, we still have to wait for it to play out, but I do think that this is going to pretty much go up to the upside. After we break this line again, I do think maybe we can come up and test it one more time. I don't think we're going to get rejected. If we do get rejected at this line again, it's going to be looking pretty bad. In terms of at least TA. But again, fundamentals are going to carry this stock to the moon, and that is what I'm banking on here. So if you take a look at my portfolio, as you guys can see, I doubled down on my positions, at least from the last time I showed you guys. And so I did add a bunch of short-term and long-term contracts to this position. As you guys can see, my closest short-term expiration dates are 12/19, so that's in about 2 weeks. And so again, not a whole lot of time here, but I do think in the next few days, the next few weeks, we are going to see some pretty significant price action that at least will drive our price to about $22 before the mid of February. And if you don't already know, we are expecting quarter four results in early March. Now, this is going to serve as a pretty big catalyst for the price action of NNDM to the upside. And I don't think, as far as investors are looking for, I don't think we're expecting any crazy numbers here. We are in the middle of a pandemic, and so NNDM has made it very clear that they're not in the interest of promoting or advertising their products and growing the revenue. Right now, it's all about just expanding their team, working on research and development, and just working under the radar pretty much right here. So another great piece of news that they just announced is that they're adding Dr. Eli David, a world-renowned artificial intelligence and deep learning expert, to join the company's board of directors as they look to strengthen their leadership team. So this is all in all great news. And if that isn't bullish enough, NNDM adding another $300,000 or doubling down in NNDM. Once again, they're averaging up, and they just have so much faith in NNDM at this point. If we actually take a look at their spreadsheet right here, NNDM, when I made my first video on this just about a month ago, they were at number 19. And I very briefly stated that if NNDM can simply 5x from where they were at that time, which was around $7, that would put them, or that would put NNDM above Tesla. It would replace Tesla in the number one spot, at least for this particular ETF. Now, that was a pretty big statement to make, but already, they're climbing the ranks pretty fast here. I do think in the coming months, we are going to see NNDM rapidly climb up to probably the top 5 and then top 3, and then obviously replace Tesla as the king of this particular ETF. Now, that is pretty bullish news in my opinion. So just to reiterate, guys, my price targets for this next 2 weeks is at least, at the very minimum, $22. I do think that once we start breaking these lines, there's very little resistance in between each of these historical lines of resistances. So we aren't going to face too much resistance going forward. And so really it's just all upside. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so I do think, hopefully, fingers crossed, next 2 weeks, we are going to see that price action that we have been hoping for, that we didn't see this last week. Now, moved on to some blockchain players. And before we even look at the blockchain players, I do want to just take a brief look at Bitcoin, see what's going on here. It did pretty much have this insane spike on the news that Elon Musk changed his Twitter bio to the Bitcoin emoji or the Bitcoin symbol. And so we did see a pretty Pretty crazy spike up right here. We have since then came down and stabilized. Now this is a very nice line of support that hit. It has formed around $30,000. I don't think we're going to pull back from $30,000. So if you are in the interest of buying Bitcoin, RIOT, Mara, XNET, any blockchain player or Bitcoin related player, now would be the time to do so. And so now taking a look at RIOT. Okay, again, not much to say here. We pretty much are getting ready for takeoff right now. And as you guys can see, we pretty much have formed this double bottom right here, bottom 1, bottom 2, and we did take off right here. And I believe this was on the same day that Bitcoin also had that pretty crazy spike. And so we have since came back down. It doesn't concern me in the very least. And so again, this pretty much from here to here was a great buying opportunity. Still is a great buying opportunity as long as we float around this region. And then the upside price target for this, of course, is about $50. So we are going to rapidly close in on this $50 probably in, I want to say, like the next 5 months, 5 to 6 months, we are going to see that. So maybe the mid of this year, we are going to see about that $50 RIOT Mara. I could be overestimating it here or underestimating it, but ultimately we will come up to test this line. So moving on to Mara. Same thing for Mara, guys. This right here, in between these two lines, $19 and about $16. This right here was a great buy. I definitely was picking up a lot around here. And so I definitely do think that if you guys were buying in around here, this would have been a pretty solid place to buy. Up here, it's a little iffy, but this still, again, is a great place to buy. Same thing with the upside price target for Mara. I do think we're eventually are going to hit about 40 in the next few months. So definitely keep these stocks on your radar. These are getting ready to take off once again. It has capitulated to the side for quite some time now, a couple of weeks. And so I do think, again, we are getting ready for takeoff. Now, moving on to XNET, this player I believe is undervalued right now. This is a pretty, it's not the biggest player in my portfolio, but I will go ahead and show you guys what I have so far. And so I will continue building this out. This is, it's a decent position as of right now, 20 contracts, both long and short term. As you guys can see, this 2/19 expiration date. So I am banking in the next 2 weeks, hopefully for this to at least close above this 650 line, historical line of resistance, and then hopefully come up to test this 950. That is about the next 2 weeks to a month. So I do think we're going to see that price action. Now, there's not really much else to say, guys. I do think that really this couple of days, couple of weeks actually have been very nice times to buy in pretty much for all the blockchain players. Overstock outside. I wasn't going to talk about this stock today, but it pretty much popped off from where I called it at, has came back down, healthy correction. And again, we are going to pop right back off as soon as Bitcoin starts taking off. Now, I do want to top it off with ARBKF, ARGO blockchain. This is pretty much my new favorite player. Some of you guys were talking about this in the comment section and wanted me to cover the price action, price targets of this stock. So here it is, guys. I will be covering more of this in the future as we continue to rally. And so this stock is a pretty new position in my portfolio. And the reason I'm so excited about this is because it has a pretty tiny market cap. I think it's pretty significantly undervalued for all that they're doing. And I'll also just show you their website here. And just all in all, if you guys are invested in HUT8 or Bitforms, you guys should be aware what ARGO is. So yeah, I don't want to talk about this too much here about the fundamentals, but they are doing some pretty great stuff. They have a really nice website, so I will have it linked in my description if you guys want to go and check it out. Just give it a read. They do have some pretty much articles and just very well written, very simplified explanations of what blockchain is and what they do exactly. And so again, this is a OTC stock, so over the counter stock. So you will need something like TD Ameritrade, and you can't buy this on Robinhood, unfortunately. But again, super small market cap, very low price. I do have hundreds of shares of these. No call options on these, but I'm just gonna ride this one out. So I did the same thing with RIOT and Mara at these prices, and I do think that we will have a lot of upside going forward in this specific stock right here. So that wraps up this video, guys. If you did enjoy this video or gain any value from it, please be sure to leave me a like and a sub. I would greatly appreciate that. And until then, guys, I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace.